So I have a very important and interesting video on how to get rid of this dental plaque tartar situation that you might have. I did a video on this before, but it wasn't fully complete. So this would be like a part two, because there's something very, very important to add to this formula to get rid of plaque, okay? And this involves vitamin C. Now, we have the vitamin C complex that in nature comes with a lot of different things. One being a part of the vitamin C complex called ascorbic acid. And many times you'll see vitamin C is ascorbic acid, but it's really not. It's just a part of the vitamin C complex. However, you can use ascorbic acid in helping get rid of plaque. But I want to first give you some background on vitamin C in relationship to oral health. Now, you've probably heard of scurvy, which is a severe vitamin C deficiency and all the different effects that can be created. Sailors at one time developed scurvy, and they had a lot of problems because they basically were lacking any food with vitamin C. And then over time, they found that you can give a sailor limes, lemons, onions, even potatoes to supply the vitamin C, and that seemed to cure scurvy. So what is it about this vitamin that is so important? Well, if you don't have enough vitamin C, you cannot make collagen, okay? Vitamin C is essential to make collagen, and I'm talking about collagen in your skin, in your bone tissue, including your teeth, in your ligaments, in your tendons, in your muscles, in your joints, in all of your arteries, including the capillaries. So when you don't have enough vitamin C, for example, in your capillaries, you get blood going through the capillary wall, creating bleeding. And so one of the big indicators to know that you're vitamin C deficient is when you get bleeding gums. Anything like gingivitis or a periodontal disease is usually related in some way to a vitamin C deficiency. Now, you probably already know that sugar is bad for your teeth and gums. And so the sugar then feeds the bacteria that develop acids that cause cavities, inflamed gum tissue, and plaquing and tartar. So what actually is tartar? Tartar is biofilms. Okay, what's a biofilm? Biofilms are colonies of microbes that have band together, and they develop these calcium igloos or shelters to hide from your immune system. So in nature, like 90 to 95% of all these bacteria start to form biofilms. In fact, if you were to walk through a little stream, for example, you notice if you step on a rock, it's very slippery. There's slime. That's the formation of biofilms. So in nature, one of the defense mechanisms that these microbes use is these kind of a protective shell. And so biofilms form tartar in your teeth. They form the plaquing in your arteries. Also, they form these calcium deposits in your joints. So biofilms are around us everywhere. And I do want to touch on the relationship between vitamin C and biofilms in just a second. But first, let me just complete my thought on vitamin C and its function in your body. Without vitamin C, you actually get really bad breath, okay? Because you have this overgrowth of bacteria. Vitamin C suppresses pathogens, including viruses, bacteria, yeast, fungus, mold, and of course, biofilms. Vitamin C also helps to act as an antihistamine. So in the body, when you have histamine, it's related to allergies. And this is why vitamin C is good to take, is to reduce the sneezing, the runny nose, the mucus production. So vitamin C, as I already mentioned, is involved and essential in generating and making connective tissue and collagen. Vitamin C also tends to make active folate. So in the pre-inactive form of folic acid that converts into folate, vitamin C is necessary. Vitamin C is also necessary in converting cholesterol into bile salts, in converting tryptophan into serotonin, in converting dopamine into epinephrine. So there's a lot of neurotransmitter type functions that vitamin C is involved with. Also making adrenal hormone steroids like cortisol, you need vitamin C. And as you already know, vitamin C is very important in fighting off infection and decreasing the duration of how long you get an infection, and also increasing your resistance to infection. When you're low in vitamin C, you're susceptible to getting biofilms, okay? So another interesting point about this is that we know vitamin C saved the sailors, but also there was another problem related to sailors that I want to cover, which is actually interesting. The ship's developing these things called barnacles, and these barnacles underneath the ship would add tremendous amounts of weight and resistance when traveling through the sea. And these barnacles are basically collections of organisms, like clams and lobster and even smaller organisms with this calcium shell. So if you have a ship with all these barnacles, you're going to basically add like a third more fuel because of the weight. And so there's a lot of problems. And the name that they assigned to barnacles would be called marine following. And so they've tried a lot of things to get rid of these growth of these biofilms. They tried different paints with chemicals. And of course, all this is very toxic. But in 1990, this guy who was a sailor had this brilliant idea while I was eating a sandwich he had these red hot chili peppers in it. And he had this idea that he says, wonder if these chili peppers would kill off these barnacles, right? Well, he found out that they did effectively kill off these microorganisms. So he developed a type of paint using chili peppers, right? And it worked great. And there's one thing about chili peppers. Chili peppers not only have certain active compounds that are going to kill biofilms, but chili peppers are very, very high in vitamin C. And even one of the byproducts that vitamin C turns into is hydrogen peroxide, which is another anti-biofilm chemical. In fact, your body even makes hydrogen peroxide to protect against too many biofilms, which is another interesting point. In my first video, I gave you a formula that you can use when you're brushing your teeth to help reduce plaquing, tartar, but I did not include vitamin C in this formula. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just explain what I'm going to recommend. The first ingredient to this new formula addition, which is only 4 ingredients, would be to take 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda and dissolve it in a half a cup of water. Okay, warm water. Dissolve it completely, and then add 1/4 of a teaspoon of hydrogen peroxide, 3%. Okay, because hydrogen peroxide is a great mouthwash and a very powerful anti-biofilm compound. But then I'm going to recommend something else, 1/4 of a teaspoon of non-GMO ascorbic acid. Now, all you're going to be doing is you're going to be brushing your teeth with this once a day, and you're going to spit out this material, and you're probably going to have one of the most powerful anti-biofilm compounds around. But I recommend brushing your teeth all around, inside and outside, and then spitting it out and rinsing out your mouth. Now, you can also add mint, peppermint, clove as a great essential oil to help as well. And so it doesn't taste so bad, and it can leave your breath smelling a little bit better. But on top of that, just to understand what vitamin C does and the effects of vitamin C deficiency for oral health is huge. You should be consuming things that are high in vitamin C on a regular basis. And that would include several foods, peppers, both red peppers, hot peppers, mild peppers, green peppers, green vegetables. Okay, pretty much all the green vegetables are loaded with vitamin C. Okay, the next thing would be limes and lemons in your diet. Realize that if you're getting lemon juice or a lime juice in a glass or some container, it's been pasteurized, and vitamin C is very sensitive to oxygen and heat. So there's really little vitamin C unless you're using an actual lemon or lime. And of course, fermented cabbage as sauerkraut has a ton of vitamin C. All right, so now that you're more educated in vitamin C, I really want you to understand the difference between natural vitamin C complex versus just the synthetic version of ascorbic acid. This would be very, very important for you to have the full picture. So I created this video and put it up right here for you. Check it out.